Happy Monday, May 8th, 2023. It's a little windy out here today. It's kind of the after the storm. Last night there was a pretty big storm that rolled through the area. A lot of lines of storm. Still windy here. The wind, I don't know that I've ever been through wind that strong, because I took the dogs out, trying to get them out before, you know, they go to bed. And oh my gosh, the little one, she's, you know, the wind really kicked her. She's only about 12, 13 pounds. And me, I could just feel it. I'm like, wow, this is some severe stuff. They said gusts up to 75 miles an hour. There's been some reports of a little bit of wind damage around here. I really didn't have any damage. I did have a pretty big wooden bench that got blown over. I haven't seen if that did any damage on the concrete or anything. So it was pretty strong winds. There's some hail, and then also the power here was out not quite 4 hours. I lost power here in the area, and then it got restored. But it was a good chance to test the generator and make sure the generator runs, that kind of thing. So good practice for things to come, right? More storms on the way. So important to be prepared for the storm. You never know what you're gonna need to do. Speaking of the storms, Bitcoin storm. Cryptocurrency's down today, and specifically the big news, I guess, PAYCHECK's down. PAYCHECK went way up, and now it's come down. It's still way up overall if you're into PAYCHECK. But Bitcoin, over the weekend, the big news was the transaction fees. I was just looking at the top of the little, see if that was damaged. It looks like it's okay. So the transaction fees, to send one, let me tell you a little story. Let me back up. So the Fold app and the LOLLI app, that allows you to earn Bitcoin. You can actually earn Bitcoin every day. Spin the little wheel, open the little treasure chest on both of them, and you get like 20 Satoshis, you know, double digits, Satoshis every day. And that's just the smallest unit of a Bitcoin is a Satoshi. So if you get 20, you get 0.000000020 Satoshis. But that adds up. And if you're spending and buying gift cards, you get Bitcoin back when you buy those gift cards. So for instance, if you go to, I don't know, let's use Walmart, for example, I don't know, 2% back. Let's say Chewy.com. It's 3 or 3.5% back. So if you order stuff for the pets, you use LOLLI, and say you order $100 worth of stuff, you will get 3% back in Bitcoin. You get $3 back. And that accumulates, you know, you can see how easily that can accumulate. So I had about $76 between the two platforms that I'd accumulated, and I decided to take it out. And when you take it out, they charge you a minimal fee. I did it like a couple weeks ago. And so I had it sitting there, and usually what I do when it gets to the point that I take that amount of money out, when it builds up that much, I'll swap it into Litecoin or Digibyte or something like that. And I decided last week to swap it, like Thursday or Friday. It's like, let me pick up, see what the exchange rates are, you know, maybe pick up a little Digibyte, maybe a little Litecoin. I don't know, we'll see what happens. So I went and looked, and the transaction fee to send that $76 worth of Bitcoin to a swap exchange, you know, so they'll swap it out for you, it was $6. I'm like, all right, I got $76 in Bitcoin, and now I'm gonna pay $6 of it just to move it. So I said, forget it, I'll just wait. So, what the heck? What happened was the fee over the weekend, because of ordinals and other things, you know, being utilized on the blockchain, on the Bitcoin blockchain, the fees went way up. And so I just looked, it's $26, the normal fee to move that $76 in Bitcoin. Now, if it were $1 a Bitcoin, it would still be $26. That's the thing here. It's the movement that costs. It's not the amount, it's the movement, because it's just digital. It's just how much is it going to cost me for that network to move it along so I can get on that bus. It's $26 for a ticket. Doesn't matter how much Bitcoin you're moving. Now, it's not a big deal if you got 100,000 Bitcoin that you're moving. You know, if you're like a central bank that's got gold, well, of course, gold's the thing. That's what you're going to talk about. You're not going to talk about silver and how efficient that is and how much cheaper it is, how much better it is for the common man. And it's kind of the same with a lot of the big proponents of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the answer. You can use Lightning Network. Well, Lightning Network's not helping anybody right now. You just got to open a Lightning channel. It costs you. And anyway, it's not what they say it is. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the problems we're having right now as far as the fee structure. But right now to move any amount of Bitcoin is 26 bucks. And you can put a lower fee in. You can say, well, I'll put in 20 bucks, all right? So everybody else bought a $26 ticket or more, and they're waiting in line to get on the bus. Only so much room on the bus, and each block of transactions is a new bus. So you're waiting in line to get on, and you're like, oh, I can get on. And they're like, no. We paid our 26 bucks, we're getting on first. And you're like, all right, I'll wait till the next bus. Same thing happens, keeps happening over and over and over again. You're like, wait a minute, I'm not getting on any of these buses, and they only come around every 10 minutes, each block of transactions, each bus. So you're kind of waiting. Pretty soon an hour goes by, and you're like, man, my Bitcoin's not moving. You can wait a day. I mean, you can be waiting a week trying to move your Bitcoin because you didn't put enough fee in. You bought too small of a ticket, trying to be cheap. So that's the game here. You got to pay up if you want to move your Bitcoin, because that's the kind of network it is. It's only got so much room, and right now it's congested. So a ticket on that bus, it's not very cheap. Like I said, not a big deal if you're a Bitcoin whale and you got all this money in it, and hey, I'm moving $1,000 here or there. It only cost me 26 bucks. Yeah, it's not great, but hey, you know what? I'll deal with it. What happens in the future when it just gets worse? It's $100 to move Bitcoin. $1,000. You're paying 10% just to move it. So you only end up with 900 on the other end. So you see, this is why I talk about Litecoin. And this is why I talk about other cryptocurrencies like Digibyte. Because I'm looking for the things that work and have worked, but are easier to use, cheaper to use, and better for the common people. Because Bitcoin is not for the common man at this point. Just saying. You want to save it long term? Great. However, if you want to scrape some off here and there and pay for something, and let's say you just, every month you want to pay your bills, and so you got $3,000 worth of bills every month that you need to pay. And so you pay them to multiple people. Every time you use that Bitcoin to pay to multiple people, you're paying 26 bucks a transaction. Now, if you had some service that you could lump it in and then make payments from that way, or convert it to cash or do something, okay, then you only have the one-time fee to convert it. But as you use it, it becomes much more cost ineffective. It's not an efficient form of day-to-day money. Bitcoin is just not that. It will never be that in the future. So, using the blockchain of Bitcoin, I should say, unless they radically change it, and that's what Bitcoin Cash did, and that's why you had all these forks of Bitcoin, because they saw this problem back in 2017. It's a problem, and now you're seeing it come back for those of you who haven't been paying attention. That's why I talk about Litecoin. I can move as much Litecoin as I want today for under a penny. So if I want to send multiple transactions, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get stuck waiting for the bus. No, I got this freaking motorcycles coming by. Hop on, go, pew, pew, pew. I shouldn't say it's not like that. It's more like a faster car, a bigger bus that's a lot faster. Train car, super silver bullet train car. You can all get on, plenty of room. Cost you a penny, less than a penny. And if Litecoin suffers from the same thing, which it probably will in the future, because it will become more of a store of value, more people will put their money into it and want to park it. And the more people who come in, the more adoption that comes in, the costs will go up to transact. And you know what? That's okay. Because if that's what happens, that's what happens. That's why it's important to have these other blockchains. And that's why I talk about Digibyte from time to time. Because right now you got 15-second blocks. Boom, these things are like boom, 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 boom. Every 15 seconds, you got the opportunity to get on. It's like line of Ubers, line of taxis, just waiting. The transaction fee is just so minimal too. I don't even know, fractions of pennies for Digibyte. And so you might not think it's important now. It's going to be important someday. And yeah, you can build technology like Lightning Network, all over top, second, third layer on top of the base blockchain layer. But they've had years to do that, and it's still not to a point where just the average Joe can use it. You can do that with Litecoin right now. You can do that with Digibyte right now. I can send it to you, and boom, you have it. Easy. Hey, download this wallet. Open it up. Show me your QR code. Done. Very simple. I don't have to open a Lightning channel and all this other garbage. No, it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. It's just going to get easier. So, when I say Litecoin is sound money for the digital age, that's one of the reasons why. In addition to the ability to send private transactions, which you can't do on Bitcoin. I'm not dogging Bitcoin. I'm pointing out why I don't use it. It's not usable for me, and I learned that early on, and people are learning it again. See, it comes in stages. As new people come into the market, they listen to all the all the BS people with the megaphones that got all the money wrapped up into the big coin called Bitcoin, and they got their $1 million conferences, and they tell you that this is the best thing ever for humanity, and we've got all the solutions. We've got Lightning Network. It fixes everything. You can do everything on Bitcoin. Until today, when reality smacks you in the face and you say, well, you know, I've been putting money in Bitcoin. I got $100 in Bitcoin and I can't even move it because it's going to cost me a quarter of that just to move it. And I end up with 75. Well, I'm kind of losing here. You know, meet the new vampire casino, because that's what it feels like. So if you're going to be transacting in cryptocurrency, which is what it was made to do, peer-to-peer electronic currency, just like in the Satoshi white paper, I'm putting my chips on the Litecoin network because you can actually use it. It actually works. And it's worked for over 11 and a half years. And you can say it's a crap coin. You can say whatever you want. Oh, price not go up. You know what? I don't care. In instances like this, you got to do the total comparison. What works? What has the least amount of aggravation? The thing that you don't have to worry about when you send it, it's going to show up. Doesn't cost you a lot of money. Under a penny. And you just, it's the go-to. It's the sound money. It's that thing that just works. Litecoin, it just works. That should be the slogan. So, I don't know how high fees they're going to get or what, but you're having meltdowns kind of in the Bitcoin community to where it's like, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And we've got people even talking about it needs to be centralized a little bit more so that we can prevent this and make changes. I mean, that's completely against, you know, this is the Procrustean bed. That's what Bitcoin is at this point. Go look up the Procrustes in Greek mythology. I think he was a innkeeper, and there are a lot of people that came along the road, you know, to stay at his inn, and he had this bed that you could sleep in. It was only one size fits all. So if you're too long for the bed, lops off your legs so you fit in the bed. Too short for the bed, stretches you out so you fit in the bed. The Procrustean bed, that's Bitcoin. That's why other things are needed. I mean, you don't just have one flavor of beer, because let's say Bitcoin was Bud Light. Look what just happened. If that were the only thing to drink, I guess nobody's drinking beer anymore. We're just gonna go drink something else. We're gonna drink whiskey. But it's fortunate that we do have many choices, and that gives us the flavor of life. So we've got choices in everything else, choices in vehicles, house styles, you know, beers, different kinds of whiskeys, this and that. It's all about variety. It's all about choice. It's all about what you prefer to use or prefer to have. It's not about just one coin fits all. It's not a Procrustean coin, Procrustean crypto, Bitcoin. No. We need choice. We need things that work, because it's the vampire casino and it's us. And everything else is us. You can keep using those Fed notes and think that, you know, there's only one answer out of it. Well, it's not just one answer. It's not just Bitcoin. It's not just gold. It's not just silver. It's not just Litecoin. It's the robust network of all these things combined. And that's how we escape the vampire casino. You know, who cares? Who cares what it is if it works and we all accept it and it doesn't bleed us of our energy in using it? That's what I'm for. So again, not to just dog on Bitcoin, but this is the reason I don't hold Bitcoin. It's the reason I don't use Bitcoin, because I've learned how unusable it can become. Is it a long-term store of value? Yes, it's proven itself as that. But if you want to use it, realize you may be in a day where it's not cheap to use. So unless you're moving large amounts in the future, it may not make sense. You know, maybe if you're a government transacting in Bitcoin back and forth, if that ever happens, you better hope you don't hold it, because at that point, you're not going to be able to use it on a daily basis. It's going to be a high fee. It's going to be very expensive to move it. And I don't want to be in that boat. I want to be in that situation to where I'm not getting robbed, because I get robbed at the bank. You know, you get robbed all these transaction fees. Use a credit card. And how much of the transaction fee is just garbage. You're not paying for the actual value. The merchant eats it, so the merchant has to raise the price, and, you know, we all lose. Just because the system's broken and the movement of money's broken. We now have an efficient form of money that can move and not screw people, and people want to dog it and say, oh no, Bitcoin's the only way. Wrong. Litecoin is sound money for the digital age. It's proving itself right now to be that. Digibyte, I mean, it's sound money for the digital age too. It just does not have the liquidity of Litecoin right now, because Litecoin I can get out of it into whatever currency that I want, gold, silver, you know, whatever foreign currency anywhere in the world very easily. Any ATM, Digibyte, I can't really do that so much. Will I be able to do that in the future? Yes, I think so, 100%. Is Digibyte better technologically? You can definitely make that argument. But right now it's just a liquidity thing for me. I love Digibyte, and I think it's going to be just amazing in the future. I'm going to use it. My kids are going to use it. It's just that right now, for this time, Litecoin is sound money for this digital age. And that's why I talk about it so much, because it's proven itself time and time again. 11.5 years running nonstop. No government, no central bank stops it. Less than a penny for the transaction. You can send private Litecoin via Mimblewimble. I mean, it's really a no-brainer. All right, enough of that harping. So yesterday, this day, Monday? Yesterday, Saturday, we had, I'm sure this is out by now. Oh no. This one's the Olliv Series V Maduro wrap, which I like. They wrap this one really tight. I mean, it is so, I mean, I squeeze it. I mean, it is a hard wrap, so, you know, the flow's not as good as it should be. It's a little tighter right here, but that's still a really good flavor. I really like it. But Saturday we had the coronation of the king, sausage fingered king, and then there was this image in the background, looked like a Grim Reaper walking back the doorway, you know, across the doorway. I don't know what that's about, if that's deep faked or if that's actual footage. I don't know. I didn't watch it, didn't record it, so I can't go back and verify it and validate it, but it wouldn't surprise me. You know, there's symbolism everywhere. But what gets me is there was a reporter for NBC, the Today Show, you know, I don't even know, the correspondent that's always on for the you know, the England thing, the royal family stuff. And so she was all giddy. I saw the replay of it as the procession went by, and the fake gilded looking, gaudy looking cart with the king and the queen in it drives by. She waves it like this, like she's some kind of model, you know, in a Trump pageant like this. And she's waving, and she says, oh, she's so excited afterwards. And this is, you know, the reporter. And yeah. And she says, I even think the king might have made eye contact with me. I mean, is this the point where we're at? We had a revolution for this stuff, and now we're going to glorify these inbred vampires. Let's just call them that. Runners of the vampire system. These inbreds, that's all they are. And I mean, we're just going to dignify all this stuff. You know, we're giving honor. You know, here we are in, you know, the greatest republic probably ever formed in the history of the entire world. Broke free from the tyranny of the king, King George III. And now, you know, just worshiping at the sausage bloated toes of King Chuck. I mean, Upchuck. King Upchuck. And that's, I mean, it's just so, what a bunch of sycophants. I mean, they're just disgusting. Just disgusting to watch these people. And I just don't understand why people give themselves over to that. You know, looking at the history of dictators and why you want to just worship one. And you say, well, the king's just symbolic, has no power. Oh, he doesn't have any power? Did you see all the people on the streets chanting, God save the king, singing, little children, brainwashing the children to worship this false idol that rolls down in the disgusting carriage with all the pomp and circumstance and all the money that gets wasted on that while people starve to death. Don't tell me he doesn't have power. Look at the lands that they own and don't pay any taxes on. Because they're above the law. They could suspend parliament in different countries. I mean, don't tell me they don't have any power. The thing is, all these people are just giving them power, just giving them away like vampires, you know, giving the energy to the vampire, just in loving it. I mean, what a sick society. What a sick world. Don't even trust yourself. Put your faith in these just slime creature, just, yeah. Call it what you want. Vampires, that's what I call them. That's what they are. Don't give them your energy. Anyway, that's a Monday. Definitely out now. I got nothing else. But just realize when you're putting your money your energy into something, make sure that you can use it. Make sure it's just not you're putting your money in some ideal that, oh, this is the way it's supposed to be, because I'm listening to all these basically vampire maxis tell me that, oh, you know, this is the only right coin. It's the only one for humanity. All the rest are just crap coins. Well, if you're believing that nonsense, take a hard look at what the network's doing right now and what works. Litecoin is sound money for the digital age. All right. Trust yourself, all right? Don't listen to them. All right. Love you all. Hope you have a wonderful Monday. Hope you have a wonderful week. Stay safe. You know, if there's storms out there rolling through, use it as an opportunity to prepare, because they're going to come back. There's going to be another storm. So always be ready. All right. Love you all. Have a wonderful day. Always trust yourself.